Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Ready to Love Miami episode 9 entitled Ready to Get Away. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's a weekend getaway, and Charisse shares a ride with Samson. Samson says to production that he looks forward to spending more time with Charisse, bonding and getting to know each other deeper. Jamala tells Katie that it really feels like a couple's trip to her. She says to production that she hopes that Randall will spend more time with her and make it clear to the other ladies that she is the true connection. She would even consider sleeping in the same room with her on top of the covers and him under, of course. Brandi, Tranika, and Mike roll together, and Mike even jokes about how he's anxious to see what people look like early in the morning. Brandi says to production that she knows that Mike has other connections, especially Kayla, and if something does go crazy, she can always sleep in Samson's room for the night. Swayze is the first one to arrive, and he wonders if things with Katie will get back on track. Kayla is excited and anxious. Hopefully Mike and Randall will step things up to let her know that they are serious. Charisse hopes that the trip will allow Samson to open up more in order for them to have intimate conversations. Katie notes that this weekend is the first time that they can spend more time together since that last get-together. They even agreed to wear matching outfits, and Swayze did just that. They show off their matching Nikes and black attire. The last of the bunch arrives, and LJ will possibly be there later or not come at all due to a work conference. The last to arrive is Randall, who sports a new haircut. He knows he has some decisions to make when it comes to Tranika, Kayla, and Jamala. There is still static between Katie and Charisse, but Katie says to production that I will continue to play it cool and be fake, throwing some shade at the last statement Charisse made at their so-called friendship. Tommy arrives and learns that LJ is at a work conference. He feels that this process is a sacrifice and people should be there whether they have a work conference or not. Mike says to production that everyone has work and other priorities. Clearly, he didn't make that more important to him. We are all here for love. Tommy wants everyone to ask themselves, is there someone here that they can see infinite tomorrows with, or is this just a weekend thing? The power to eliminate is back in the hands of the ladies, and tomorrow one of the men will learn their fate. It's time for everyone to bring their A game so they don't have to leave early. Jamala says to production that this elimination will be the most difficult because the remaining guys have all been trying harder to open up and connect. Tommy tells Swayze jokingly not to be naked by midnight. Mike wants to know why Katie only has one connection, and she explains that that's the whole point. You don't want to be in love with two people. As a matter of fact, Mike and Brandi remind her of the married couple, and Kayla is the one at the office who is always messing stuff up between the two of them. Kayla says to production that I don't get that comment. So I'm the hot one, and I guess Brandi is the washed up fat wife? Katie says to production that she's going to get to the roots with Mike. Some of the guys can say one thing, but then another when around a specific woman. Katie says to production that she's looking out and speaking up for girl power. Mike says to production that Katie is literally a thorn in my ass. He gets even more frustrated when Katie asks what do him and Kayla have in common. Mike answers and says that he hasn't got to know her good enough to answer. Kayla says that's not what he tells me when we're alone. It's like a deflection. Brandi chimes in and says that now's the time for everyone to say how they feel. If someone hasn't said their piece, then there's nothing else to say. Kayla says to production that's exactly how he acts, totally different in public. Now she doesn't know what to think and doesn't think Mike is ready to be honest with her. Kayla walks away from the conversation and says that she's done. Jamala knows that Randall is chill when it comes to his other connections, but wants him to be more direct and make decisions. Randall says to production that he's observing energies, and Jamala so far, he's not liking the vibe right now. Brandi makes time out to sit with Samson, but the conversation is sort of empty. Samson says to production that Charisse is still his top connection, and he doesn't have that spark with Brandi. He's honest with her and says that he notices that she has more of a connection with Mike, and even remembers the little lap dance she gave him. He thinks that sometimes that it's best for him not to say anything at all. Brandi says to production that I'm not going to tone down who I am for anyone, and it seemed that Samson had a little problem with that lap dance. Katie loves that Swayze is very affectionate and attentive. That's why their connection continues to grow. Randall wants to talk more with Tranika because majority of that time is spent with Jamala. He confirms that wasn't intentional not to talk to Tranika. They take a moment to be transparent about life, and he likes the times that they open up, and her personality shows several layers. He's now seeing Tranika in another light. A few gather at the pool, and Jamala wants to join in. She feels left out and frustrated every time she sees Randall. It's another woman hanging off his neck every time I turn around. They all talk about reminiscing if they remembered their first kiss. And when Jamala tries to jump in, Kayla and Randall leave the pool to have more privacy. All that does is make Jamala even more frustrated. Jamala then comes into the house looking for Kayla and Randall. When she finds Randall, she says, "Excuse me, let me get my stuff," and then leaves the room. Randall says to production that he didn't feel that Jamala's behavior was needed. They've been together, and why is she acting so territorial? Kayla says to production that if he hasn't created boundaries, then she can't check Randall. That's very telling about who he is at this point. And why was her stuff in his room in the first place? Two couples hit the jet skis to enjoy some fun in the sun. Samson and Charisse, Kadian and Swayze. Kadian jokes that at one time she accidentally grabbed his private parts when he stood up, and she wasn't disappointed. LJ reaches out to Tranika via FaceTime to let her know that she's still on his mind. He can't avoid work and looks forward to seeing Tranika more. Charisse and Samson take a breather, and he loves her feet. He even offers to rub them, and Charisse wonders if Samson can open up. She's tired of the repetitive, corny jokes and no depth. Randall says to production that he has invested in Jamala from the jump. For her to come in and grab her things was uncalled for. When they finally address the matter, Jamala thinks that Randall needed to focus in on what he wants. She says that she can't sit there with a smile while another woman fondles him, but he says she's overreacting and he wasn't fondled. Randall makes it plain that she can't control every situation, and he can tell that she's used to controlling things. Now she's toying with his intelligence, and she has to trust him. Dinner time approaches, and Swayze feels that he will be the next to leave when it comes to eliminations. Samson says grace and brings the question to the table. What brought everyone to this point of wanting to go through the process and being ready to love? Tranika shares that she spent a decade wanting true love. Last year, she cried all the time. She's done a lot of inner work to make sure that she's not bringing any baggage to her next relationship. The answer even brings tears to Randall's eyes. He shares that he made a list of all of the things that he wanted to accomplish, and his last relationship was 4 years ago. Once he accomplished all of his goals, he realized he didn't have anyone to share it with. Life is so much more than money and vanity. Brandi feels that she's never been in love, but she's ready now. Swayze says that he's scared, and it brings laughter to the table, but everyone agrees that love is scary. And Swayze says that the longer he waits, the harder it gets for him to find true love. Besides, none of them are getting any younger. Mike says that he was fortunate to have been married to his childhood sweetheart, but then later got divorced. He's the plug, and he's just looking for an outlet. He wants to find a soulmate again. Brandi says to production that she loves that he is open and he spoke his heart. Samson says to production that everyone understood that this journey is legitimate and everyone there wants love. After dinner, Randall has a heart-to-heart with Mike alone. Since the meet and greet, Randall's journey has been rocky. Now there's just more rocks. He's realizing that Jamala's exterior doesn't match the real her. She's actually very fragile, and he hasn't been forthright with her. He realizes that his communication hasn't been too great. He is in the habit of shutting down and needs to work on that. Everyone gets ready for bed, and Brandi has no regrets in such a wonderful day. The next morning, everyone is full of life, playing pool, swimming, and talking. Now it's time for the ladies to sit down with Tommy to talk about business. Who is the fella that will be eliminated? Gladly, there wasn't any drama, and Brandi jokes that Mike snores. Katie reports that there's still a strong connection with Swayze and no one else. With Tranika, she says she has a strong connection with LJ. He's very intentional and makes her feel wanted and desired. Only she has that same connection with Randall. Kayla reports Randall as well, but there's something that she can't figure out. Jamala says Randall is her only connection and she wants to make that connection better. Brandi says Mike. Cherie says Samson and that his corniness works. Now they must talk about who they're not digging so much. Brandi says LJ and Samson. Cherie says LJ. Jamala, LJ and Swayze. Kayla, Samson and Swayze. And Katie, Samson and Randall. Tranika says Swayze. Now it's time to gather the guys and deliver the news. It's amazing what people can learn in 24 hours. And it comes to getting to know someone deeper. LJ was not there, but the ladies made a decision. One man's journey will end right now. Brandi delivers the news. Samson and Swayze please step forward. The ladies love Samson, but the women feel that they want to move past that friendship level. It's the same thing with Swayze. He's a positive person, funny, they love being around him, but feels that he's the homie. In conclusion, the man going home is, but Tommy then steps in. He says that he will make the final decision of who is going home. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So if you guys have been following the recaps and the reviews for this season, I was right. They are stretching the heck out of this season, trying to make something out of nothing, okay? Saying that, oh, this person's out of town and this and that. Production knows what's up, okay? And they know that certain people that go home and people that should be eliminated, if they leave, there will not be a show. The fact that several people have been in that elimination spot over and over again, we know that they need to go home. It's just there's so many men left and so many women left. The fact that there's several connections, I've said this over and over again, they need to stay in the mansion for the duration of the full season. That way they can spend more time with each person. We've seen every season that the number one complaint is, I really want to get to know this person. I have a connection with this person, but I don't get to spend that much time with the other people that are perspectives, right? That's a huge problem. And then at the end of the season, they're forced to pick one person. It shouldn't be ready to love. It should be ready to date. It should be, I'm ready to date these few people. I think that it shouldn't be just one person they pick. I think at the end of the season, it should be, I'm ready to date these 3 people. I'm ready to date these 2 people. And then do a 6-month follow-up or something. To me, that's more interesting and it keeps the information flowing. I've said that each season that the participants need to sign NDAs so they can't go online anywhere on social platforms and share details, because then what's the point of the reunion? What is the point of adding excitement as the audience to perceive? They need to get rid of that. They need to have it open and build suspense, but not drop any details. When it comes to reality shows, if you're going to have this crescendo of a reunion, that is necessary. Because to me, what is the whole point? We're going through this whole process. It's the mystery of who finally found love. And if we're having this duration of 4 to 6 weeks, just throwing an estimate of filming, that's really not that much time to get to know somebody. Let's say that it was 3 months. That gives you a little bit more time, but you are working with individuals who, I don't know if you're trying to be an actor, actress. I don't know if you're trying to promote your business. I don't know what your true intentions are. I think there's a gumbo mix of people who are really there, ready for love, and want to make their debut to be on television. If that's the case, then we might as well have some scripted drama going on, which is what I noticed that they're doing. The fact that we have Tommy stepping in saying, oh, I'm going to make the final decision. Production is making a decision to stretch it out to give some substance, okay? If LJ was on a work conference and he knew that he had to go away, let's just say he's really at a work conference. And for Tommy to say, oh, work or not, you need to make this a priority. Is that the frustration from production feeding through Tommy and saying that, hey, you need to make this a production? Because if that's the case, I don't see somebody skipping a work conference in which they have to speak at, right, which pays their bills over that. Work is top priority, okay? I know it's a show, but unless you're going to pay their bills, what are we talking about? I thought that was odd. And then also the fact that you say, oh, I'm going to make the final decision, or next week, or, it's just, Production, I've said this every episode, needs a slap on the wrist. It's really, really draining that they keep doing this and you got like 5 people. Like, stop it. Let me know what you think. There's really not that much for me to review in this episode. I think it's a bunch of BS when it comes to the true connections and if people need to go home and if it's real. Tranika, girl, I know we can't control our breast size, but them pendulums, they killing me, okay? Do something with them, okay? What else? Oh, let's talk about what I think is the real beef between Charisse and Katie. Now, when they had their little scrapple-do with LJ and Mike at the table, right? When they said, oh, we were talking as friends. And you said something about Samson. And you said that me and Hira ain't got no money. Birds of a feather, honey. I think that Charisse was trying to kick it with Katie and maybe Katie had some perks, right? With some sugar daddies. And she's probably used to some men with some money. And Charisse, she was probably like, girl, me too. So, you had those type of women that want to hang together. The fact that Katie said, hey girl, let's go out to eat and you can hang with my sugar daddy. I think Charisse was heartbroken because she thought, ooh, gang, I'm gonna be able to hang with Katie and I think she's just so fun and blah, blah, blah. And then Katie changing her mind and seeing her character with a lot of the men and certain statements that she said throughout this season where she changed her mind like, I really don't want to rock with her like that. So that's where we got the scrap-a-do, right? Because Charisse seemed very heartbroken and see my cell phone. She said, if anything, then we're gonna, stay friends no matter what. She was really, really harping on the fact that they was gonna just be cliquish like that was just gonna be her road dog. And then when she fell out with her, she was really affected by that. Her feathers got, really ruffled. That's why Katie was just like, rah, rah, like, ooh, since I'm such a bully, why are you talking to me on the phone? Why are you hanging out? It's like that popular girl wanting to hang out with the other girl. And then, that's what it's giving. And Charisse really gives me mean girl trying to act nice now. It's like, I don't know if y'all got short attention spans or y'all just forget easily. Y'all are quick to forget Charisse's behavior this whole season. And now she's calmed it down because she doesn't want to be eliminated. And the only other connection that she's had, quote unquote, air quotes, right, is Samson, who she knows there's not a bond with. That's why we see in the previews for next week. She's like, I wanted to be open. I really wanted that. There was never anything there. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. We know there's no connection there. I've said that I believe Samson has temper problems because there was one episode where the guys were talking about who they wanted to go home and they were like, oh, I'm really not digging Charisse. And Samson got real upset. And I think he caught himself like, oh, dang, I want to show my real personality. It's something about Samson that seems super fake. It seems super fake and he doesn't go into depth because he's not the whole thing. I don't want to open up and I don't know who to open up to. I think because he's going to show his true self. He's going to show that he has a temper problem, and when he had that characteristic in the episode where he was just like, let me stop it. I ain't going to say nothing. And he got real snappy. That man got anger issues. Just like how I said Zoe had anger issues way before that happened with Charisse. And then y'all saw that he blew up at the pool table. Okay? Look, you need to pay attention to your girl because I called all this stuff a long time ago. Brandi, Mike ain't the one, boo. That man does not want to have kids with anyone. He's saying what he wants to say so you won't lose interest. Brandi, the fact that you said, oh, Mike better act right, I'm going to be in the same room with Samson. Red flag right there. You can't toy with somebody's emotions and feelings and then be like, I'm him, I'm with Mike, but not really. Katie, girl, you and Swayze are two peas in a pod. The way that he snatched your head around and kissed your face all aggressive and you kind of look back like, okay, come on, child. He's your cup of tea, but I don't think his wallet is your cup of tea. I can tell. I know what kind of a woman you are. I'm peeping game. Okay. Kayla, girl, you seem like you need a little bit more self-reflection. You seem like you still have a lot of hurt in your heart, maybe from, previous times. The fact that whenever Jamala or somebody else is flirting with Mike or Randall, you roll your eyes and you get so upset by that. And ain't neither one of them your man. Ain't nothing, don't nobody belong to nobody on this show. Okay. Y'all kicking it. Okay. So it just kind of, I don't know. Tranika, you really not bonding with nobody like you think you are. Randall, thank you, sir, for finally getting the edge up and the haircut. Thank you. You were always looking this whole season like you just woke up, and then you finally decided, you know what, I'll get a haircut. Come back to the mansion, look like a totally different person. Dude, I don't think you really bonded with anybody else there either. You just making what's best with what's due. Jamala gives me mother-son vibes with Randall. Tranika gives me that's your friend, okay? And Kayla gives me, I don't know with you. Like, nobody's really clicking with me on it. LJ, go on and go back to your ex and y'all keep being nutty buddies. Keep doing that. That seems to be working for y'all. Sharice, ain't none of these guys on here for you. No, everybody just needs to go home. Just end the whole season. Bring the reunion already, because it's a snoozer. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out the final season of the original FX series, Atlanta House of Dragon, on HBO. We have Bell Collective Season 2. Check that out. Binge watch, because the first part of the reunion special is this week. There's so much to watch, you guys. Binge watch. Let me know what you think. Leave comments below. Like this video. Share it with your friends. And in the meantime, in between time, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Oh, and also make sure to check out my full week recaps and reviews of The Handmaid's Tale, you guys, a Hulu original series. This is an Emmy award-winning show, just like Atlanta, and check that out too. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any post. All right, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.